Welcome, everyone. Ooh, I shouted.
You can normally take it.
Welcome, everybody, to Entry Level Mums. Today, we have a baby in the studio. I totally forgot, and then when I shouted, the baby jumped. So, welcome. My name is Nasra,
I'm Sharea.
and as you know, guys, we are Entry Level Mums. Welcome back to our new episode. Today, we have a really interesting episode. We have a baby in the studio, like I said. But today, my good friend Sharea is in the building, and I would like her to introduce herself. So, over to you.
Hi. My name is Sharea, and with me I have baby Inea.
Oh, how old is baby Anaya?
She is going to be 16 weeks tomorrow. So she's
Mashallah.
brand spanking new.
Oh.
Brand spanking new. Yes.
Also, can I just cut in here and say, like, we're going to give a trigger warning to anyone who has been through or experienced like ectopic pregnancies and stuff like that, because we will delve into that topic. So if you feel uncomfortable with that or you feel like it will trigger you, then come back for our next episode.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd put that in there.
Let us get into it without any further ado. I've been so excited to have you on here. I know your story is different, very different. So I'm going to give you the mic and let you tell us how it's going.
Okay. Where do I start? So, I'm obviously a late mum. I had a child in my later life. I didn't even really plan. I mean, I got married 5 years ago, and obviously we thought about children, but never even thought about fertility issues or spoke with anyone about fertility issues or even had a reason to talk about anything to do with fertility issues. The only thing I ever really knew about was having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Or unless you purposely chose to abort your child. Those are probably the only two things I ever knew about. So in November 2019, I fell pregnant.
Okay.
In November 2019, I fell pregnant, and I was really excited. Like, I've always wanted to be a mom. I think I would be a great mom. I'm always great auntie. I'm that auntie vibe that all the kids kind of love me. I make the silly jokes. I'm like that kind of fun kind of auntie. So I thought, if I have a child, it's going to be good. So when I fell pregnant in November, I was like, wow, okay, I'm ready for this. And then this was just around the time of just before lockdown. This would have been, because lockdown would have been March 2020. So yeah, November, found out I was pregnant. And then it might have been about a month later. So I was about 2 months pregnant when I found out I was pregnant, or coming up to 2 months pregnant. And then a couple of weeks later, I was at home, and it felt like I had wind, like I needed to fart. That was like the first kind of, I thought I had gas, maybe I was like, maybe I need to take a laxative or a Senna, help give it a little bit of movement. That's what it first felt like. The pain was so painful that I actually popped a pill, like paracetamol, and went to bed because I couldn't fight. It was, when you're trying to like do everything you can, you're sitting on the toilet, you're like, got your legs up, knees up, not working, take a painkiller, fell asleep. A week later, the pain comes again. This time, the pain is excruciating. Gas, excruciating cramps. And by now, I had found out that I was pregnant. So the week before finding out I was pregnant, I didn't know about I just thought gas. Then I found out I was pregnant, and then it happened again. And I'm saying it to my friend. I'm like, babe, something's not right. She's like, I'm going to come home, because I was renting in a room. She was like, I'm going to come home. I'm going to come sit with you and see what's going on. By the time she came, I was like rolling, sweating, hot sweats. Couldn't figure it out. Called the ambulance, and the guy was like, I'm not a priority. And she was like, yeah, but she's pregnant and something's not quite right. He was like, yeah, not a priority. You're not COVID, you're not a priority. So she was like, let's get into the car and we'll go to St. Mary's Hospital. So we get into the car, she drives me there, and St. Mary's, you can't park.
Yeah.
You got to drop somebody off, go find parking, come back. She dropped me off in the entrance. I couldn't get off the floor. I was on the floor holding my stomach, saying, "Please, I'm pregnant. Something's wrong."
Oh my God.
And no one will come over because they were like, "Oh, it's COVID. We can't touch you. We can't do nothing."
Oh.
Everyone is. I had about 5 people standing around me. Oh my God.
And everyone's keeping their distance.
And everyone's keeping their distance, and I'm like, I just need help. Just get me to like my accident emergency, just in case I'm pregnant. And the lady in the receptionist, she's like, "Put your hand down your trousers and see if there's any blood."
Oh.
So I'm like doing that, and I'm like, "There's no blood." She's like, "That's a good sign. Don't worry." Still not thinking ectopic pregnancy. I don't even know what the word ectopic pregnancy means. So they eventually come. They bring this like wheelchair thing. They put me into the wheelchair, take me upstairs to A&E. And A&E St Mary's is long. Even being pregnant, you do not have like some priority pass to kind of go through. By the time I finally get to see the nurse, she's asked me these questions. They sit me down. They bring in I think they brought in a gynecologist and doctor come in, and she does a scan. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant. What's happening? Is everything all right?" And she's looking, and she's like, "Oh, if you're having an ectopic pregnancy." What's an ectopic? I'm so confused right now. She's like, "Yeah, it's growing in your tube, so we're gonna have to take your tube away." Now, for me, in my head, I had no idea how, looking at pictures, when you're looking at pictures of fallopian tubes and ovaries, for some reason, I just assumed ovaries connected to your fallopian tube. So when she's saying to me, "We've got to take out your fallopian tube," I'm thinking she's telling me she's going to take out my whole womb, so I can't have babies anymore. So I'm like, "But I'm never going to be able to have a baby." And she's like, "No, you still can. You got another tube." So I assumed that the ovaries connect to your tubes, but they don't. They just hang over, and your tubes are just below it. All the diagrams look like it's one
I thought it was
connected
I thought
piece.
it was connected as well.
See? The ignorance of our own bodies, of our own internal
mad.
reproductive system. I could not understand what she was saying to me. She's like, "I'm getting rid of your tube." I'm like, "You're going to take..." I thought she was giving me a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
So I'm dying. I'm like, am I looking at my sister? I'm like, "Why? What's that like? What?" Just baffled why. Anyway, so she's like, they're rushing now. They're doing COVID tests because they won't put me into surgery unless I've had a COVID test. And at that time, I was refusing kind of anything to do with COVID. I didn't want nothing to do with COVID. I only stick a nothing up my nose, which has got some kind of toxic on the end of it. And I don't know, like, I just didn't know. Like, so it was a big fight and a big struggle, and they wouldn't see me unless I had to do it. So this was a bit of a life and death situation because I'd already started bleeding out. Like, you start to internally bleed. My fallopian tube had ruptured. By the time I got into surgery, it had already burst. I was sitting waiting for this COVID test in the room, like in so much pain. The pain is the part that you can't phantom because, like I said, it still feels like you need to fart really badly, gas, cramp. It feels like that. So by the time they've taken me and they put you to sleep to do this whole procedure, it was only afterwards when I woke up and they kind of explained to me. And when I woke up, I'm on a ward by myself. It's COVID times. There's no one there. I say to them, "Please let my mum and sister come and see me." They won't let me. My mum come see me. Like, it was very weird. Like, even when I woke up, I was like so baffled and confused about what was happening. And I started having this panic attack when I woke up. And like, they had given me, so they wouldn't let my mum and my sister come in, but what they did is they allowed them to give me a bag to give to me with some bits and pieces in there. But by the time I'd like kind of woken up, I started having a panic attack, thinking of all the things that were going on. So they're coming running over because all my machines were making all these kind of weird noises, and they're coming over and they're like, "What have you taken? What have you taken?" I'm like, "I haven't taken anything." They're opening up the bag that my sister's just given me, pulling everything out. They're like, "What have you taken? Why is you shouldn't be having this?" And I'm like, like,
God.
Being alone, it was so weird, and like they never really explained. Another thing, why do doctors want to do their rounds at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, wake you up to say to you, "By the way, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened"? I'm just waking up from like being under. When he said to me, I said, "Where's the doctor?" He's like, "The doctor came and saw you this morning." I was like, "Wait, what? What did she say?" He's like, "I don't know. You had the conversation with her." I don't remember no conversations. I don't know what happened. Like, and the doctors, once they do that round, they're not coming back to you. There's a whole hospital they got to do. No one ain't coming back and talk to you. So that was really, really hard. And one nice thing actually that the 2 nurses did in St Mary's, it connects to a private wing called the Lindo Wing.
Yeah. That's where all the celebs have their kids, isn't it?
They contacted them and said, "Listen, this lady's in here by herself on the wing. Can we just bring her over to you and you just look after her for one night?" They took me over and gave me one night of treatment in the Lindoing. I got some great pictures of me ordering from this beautiful menu and this thing coming up. So that was like the one kind of great thing that kind of happened. But so that was my first ectopic pregnancy. Then after that, I went to, my husband was working in Dubai at the time, so I left to go get away. Went to Dubai. Dubai was allowing Dubai lets anyone come in. COVID time, they were letting anyone come in.
My sister travelled to Dubai. Yeah.
So I went to Dubai.
That's literally where all the influencers were going. Do you remember?
Yeah, Dubai was a spot.
Yeah.
Like, COVID wasn't in Dubai.
It wasn't.
Yeah, Habibi, we don't want you over here.
My sister came back with COVID, ironically.
I think a lot of people came back with COVID.
She came back, she was finished for a month.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she was finished.
So get to Dubai and, you know, trying to just figure out my life, who I am now, what's going on. And, you know, this thing has happened to me. I'm looking at the scars.
I think her dummy fell out.
Oh, mama. I know, mummy's loud.
She was searching for the dummy. Poor baby.
So there, and then 6 months later, I fall pregnant again. I'm like, miracle, wow, okay, this is it. But because of what happened the first time, we were like, let's just go to the hospital just in case, make sure everything's good, you know, let's catch this early. It's probably everything's fine. I mean, we're blessed. When the ectopic pregnancy happened the first time, the lady said, I was like, what's the chance of it happening on the other side? She was like, very rare. So get to the Dubai hospital and I'm like, you know, just checking in. I'm having a baby. I've had ectopic pregnancy before. I know it's probably going to be fine. And they do the scan and she's like, oh, you're having another ectopic pregnancy. Oh. I was like, please do anything. She's like, can't you push it down? Can't you take the egg out? Like, can't you, like, I know shit, sorry. I was like, we've got it early, isn't there any way you can, like, do something? Like, I was like, what does it mean for me to have a baby? She was like, well, once your fallopian tubes are gone, because your eggs drop, they release, they get sucked into the fallopian tube, and in the fallopian tube is where the eggs meet the sperm, and that's where they fertilize. They stay there for 5 days, for the first 5 days, blyocysts, where they develop, and then they drop down and go into your uterus and settle in your uterus and grow. Mine, if your tubes are like bent or slightly, there's a list of about 30-40 things on this list that could cause ectopic pregnancies. And of course I went through and blamed myself for every single thing on there. I was like, oh my God, when I was 17 I had, what did I get? Well, it's like, I don't know, whatever, STD. I was like, was it that one time I done that and I got this STD and it didn't clear up, or something happened and there's scar tissue? Anyway, so she was like, yeah, you're having another ectopic pregnancy. I'm really sorry. You know, you won't be able to have children naturally after this. And I think that probably is like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's, so she's like, look, first of all, they said to me, we're going to save the tube. We won't cut it. What we're going to do is we're going to give the injection that they give you to abort your child. Mm-hmm. She said 17% chance it won't work. More than likely this is going to work. Told you, me and luck, shit happens. It's happening to me. That 17%, that was me. So that after that, they've given me that about a week later, 10 days later, you go back to do the blood test to see if you're pregnant again. And lo and behold, I was still pregnant and this thing was still growing. And now it's ruptured and burst and now they have to take it out completely. So within 6 months, I lost both my fallopian tubes, which does not happen. It's a very rare case for it to happen. And then the abortion injection, that didn't work. Very rare thing for it to not work. So it just felt like everything was stacked up against me. Like, I was never going to have a baby. I didn't even think IVF. Cause just these are not words that you use in your everyday life.
Yeah.
As far as I know now, I can't have a baby. And then I kept thinking, my husband's like 10 years younger than me. What if he leaves me? I can't have children. What's the point of him staying with me?
Oh my God.
Shit. Okay. You think the worst. You think, and the levels of depression. And the thing is, I didn't really know about, in fact, I didn't know about depression really until Grenfell happened.
Yeah.
That's when I really discovered what depression was.
Yeah.
And then this was my second bout of realizing what depression was, like being sad. So it was really hard. What do? You know, can't have a baby, right?
If you want to take a break, we can take a break.
Oh. And I think people just need to know what an ectopic pregnancy is. Now, if I had the opportunity, so it's funny, before I fell pregnant, I said to my husband, we wanted to have a baby. So before I fell pregnant the very first time, we were like, let's go to a clinic and let's do a sperm check. Let's do a check on me. I'd done every check. So when I was looking at this list, this is how dumb. This is why you see money. When I was looking on the checklist, I was like, yeah, I'll do all these. And I saw one with a big fat price on there. It was about £500 or something. I was like, I'll save that one and I'll just do all these other ones. That one that was £500 and something was the test that would have told you whether you would have had an ectopic pregnancy, whether your tubes were damaged or not. They put an ink.
Why
like
does it have a price tag on it?
It was like the most expensive thing. It was like 500 or something. Everything else was like £60, £80, £30, £60, £80. I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that test was. If they had said to me, do you know what, this is probably the most, don't even do those other small ones.
This one's important.
This one's important. Do that because that's the one thing that can kill you, having an ectopic pregnancy.
Mad. I didn't know that.
One thing that can kill you is having, because it will grow, your egg will still grow in that space and it will burst and you'll internally bleed. So that first time I internally bled, I lost about 1,500 mils or something like that. 2,000 mils and you're dead.
Imagine if you didn't go to the hospital.
Imagine
do you know what
and
I mean?
I was going to say to her, give me another pill. I'm telling her, give me another painkiller because it's just gas. Give me a laxative. I'm going to go toilet. I'm going to do it, take it tonight and I'll go. She was like, nah, babe. Sorry. She was like, nah, you're pregnant. Like, I wasn't, you don't think, I didn't know what ectopic pregnancy was. I didn't know anything could be a problem.
It's the fact that, the fact that you describe the pain as like a gassy pain.
Yeah.
That's scary because a lot of people think it's just gas.
It's just gas, which is what I thought the first week before that, and took the painkiller and went to bed and woke up feeling fine. And a week later, it happened again. Like, I just let it, there's nothing specific, you know. I wasn't even thinking I was having a miscarriage. I didn't even think miscarriage because it wasn't cramp like that. It's gas. Like, I need to fart, you know, like.
That pain we've all felt before.
That pain where you take a teeth to bust the gas, you know.
That trapped wind pain is
horrible.
It is, yeah.
So it was like that trapped wind on like 100 times, 10 times, like maybe not 100 times, but like it was intense. But the following time was even intense, even more. So for me, the lose that was just so that would have been June, July 2020, and then. By the end of the year, we were like trying to look at our options about having a child. I was like, you know, I would love to adopt and all that kind of that. All that sounds great. Deep down, I want my own baby. Yeah. I want my husband to have. I want us to have a child. Like, what if he leaves me? This is all I kept thinking. What if he's saying to me, no. And then what if I can't give you kids? Are you really gonna stay with me? You're 10 years younger than me. You're really gonna stay with me?
It is the biggest test, isn't it? Like, once you can't have kids.
And it's not like we're trying and we can't fall pregnant. Because, you know, there's sometimes you can be trying with one person for 10 years, can't get pregnant. You lot break up, mash up. You go meet someone else and you fall pregnant straight away. It's not even like that.
Yeah, because you got pregnant twice.
So then...
So unfortunate.
So unfortunate. Like, when I say if shit happens, it happens to me. I'm the kind of person that shit happens to. Or I don't even want to put that out there. It's not no more.
Yeah, let's not put that out into the air.
Shit don't happen to me no more because I got myself a baby. So, but then, how we are here today is then I realised I had to do something called IVF.
Before we get into the IVF,
okay,
I'm curious to know how the recovery is like after the surgery. Is it?
And what kind of surgery is
it? Is it invasive?
Not
how does
too
it work?
invasive, actually. I think they call it keyhole surgery.
Oh, it's the keyhole.
So I've got like, I think I had three sections where they took it out from, or where they did whatever. There was 3 marks basically that I had.
Oh.
So they, I still feel dumb and ignorant to it. I still have really no idea what they do, but I remember there being 3 sections, 3 parts on my belly where they've obviously inserted. So there's no big scar like people used to have before. I don't know what people used to do before. Now it's like these tiny little incisions, and they just pull the whole tube out.
Wow.
So one thing I always say to people, if you haven't had children yet and you want to have children, the first thing I recommend you do, because it's life or death, do that £534, whatever the blood clot that thing was, do that test. They put ink and they flush your tubes and they do it on a scan so they can see to make sure there's no blockages. Do the test. If you're a bit older, over 30, over 35, do the test, because as you get older, it can also crinkle. When she took out the second one, she said, I was like, why? What was wrong? Was it damaged? Did it look damaged? Because the first one, I'm assuming, looked. I didn't ask no questions about the first one. When I asked her about the second one, so now I knew I wanted to know more information. I was like, what was it like? What happened? Like, she was like, have you ever had any surgery before, like in this area? I said, I had my appendix taken out. I had an emergency appendectomy when I was 16. She was like, when they done that operation on you, they left scar tissue, and the scar tissue connected to your fallopian tube. When I was 16, I was never going to be able to have a baby on that side anyway.
So it's because of their mistake that this happened?
I don't even know if I want to call it mistake, because obviously they had to do an emergency appendectomy because my appendix burst when I was 16. They had to do the emergency appendectomy in order to, I suppose, save my life, because that also can kill you too.
Yeah, that can kill you as well.
And because that ruptured, and the scar tissue that was left over had attached itself to my fallopian tube. She said everything was fine about it, you just had scar tissue, and the scar tissue was indenting it, making dents in it, so it was like kind of like it wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it made it difficult for it to get down.
She was like, you was never going to fall pregnant on that side. She's like, I don't know what that side.
You had no idea from the age of 16. That's mad.
And I've never been pregnant either. Never in my life have I been pregnant. When I was younger, I used to think I can't get pregnant. Just because, it wasn't happening, like, it didn't happen, like, Oh my gosh. So, yeah, man. Right.
Oh my God. Take all the time you need, honestly.
Yeah, so I definitely highly recommend, if anybody's out there that wants to have a child, they feel like maybe they're a little bit older. If you're a smoker, there's a lot of things on this. There's about 30 things on this list.
Oh,
and it's so easy
even
to
if
say.
you're a smoker, mad.
Smoker, if you've had a sexually transmitted disease before, if you've there was a sport that was on there, if you did something.
No way.
Lots. So if you took this medicine, if you take that medicine, if you got this, if you got there was like bare things on that. You will find fault in yourself in every single thing on that list. Of
course, yeah. You'll think, I did that before.
I did that
it's my
before.
fault.
I smoked before. I done that before. Did I have the questions you think, like.
That's so insane, because I feel so ignorant that I didn't know about ectopic pregnancy. I knew what it was. I knew like the egg, when the egg is like outside of the womb. I knew that. But I didn't know that they remove the fallopian tube. Either. I just thought they just like get rid of that pregnancy, that baby, and that's it. Your tube is still there.
No, yeah.
I didn't know.
It normally gets stuck in the tube. There is some cases where it makes it down to the tube. Wait, no. Ectopic pregnancy, it gets stuck in the tube. There is no making it down. It gets stuck in the tube. Now, the lady when I was in Dubai, the second lady, she said, I've already read one medical book where a lady who had an ectopic pregnancy had her tubes taken out. She still fell pregnant, but it's like a 1 in a billion chance.
Wow.
The egg still fertilizes and it made its own way down, because don't know how graphic this sounds, but like, when your partner ejaculates inside of you, that millions of sperm goes up. Now that I've got no tubes for it to go directly into, it's just like kind of chilling kind of there.
They have nowhere to go.
And my eggs are still going to come, because subhanallah, I'm breastfeeding, and today's the first day I've had my period, and I was shocked. I didn't even know I could get period. Last night I came on my period. I kept on saying to my sister, man, it's hot, man, I'm feeling sweaty. I ain't thinking period. That's the last thing I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I'm feeling sweaty in my pants, man. I did not even think to look, didn't go toilet or anything like that. And in the middle of the night, when I went toilet and I was like, oh my God, I've been bleeding this whole time. Like, I just thought it was a hot night, hot evening. Wait, why was I talking about me having a period?
You didn't know that you could have periods.
Yeah. I didn't know even without your tubes, you'll still have your period, because your egg will still go down. It just doesn't go into a tube. It just floats down, and goes into your uterus, waiting for sperm to happen. Sperm doesn't come, so then it sheds and you bleed.
So now, for example, you say that
it comes out of your egg, and
My
then
ovaries,
sorry, your
yeah.
ovaries, the egg, and then there's that gap where it's just,
Emptiness. There's no fallopian tube, so it's just floating down. Yeah.
but it still comes down,
Still comes down.
but it still can be fertilized in that emptiness, right?
It's a 1 in a billion. It wasn't 1 in a billion, but I'm just saying 1 in a billion because it's very rare that it can fertilize you. It's supposed to fertilize in the tubes. In the tubes, it's got all the magic stuff. All the good stuff is in those tubes for to allow it to fertilize.
Okay.
But you may be that 1 in a billion, and I know it's not 1 in a billion before. It's not 1 in a billion, whatever the number is.
It's just very rare.
It's very, very rare. It's only been known one time for a woman who's had an ectopic pregnancy to get full pregnant, and the sperm fertilizes it and it goes down and sits on the
It's a
uterus.
miracle from that's God right there, man.
That's God right there.
That's
Anything is
insane.
possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it could, so it's really hard. And so ectopic pregnancy, man. I feel like it,
Subhanallah.
as women, I felt so dumb sitting in that bed and thinking to myself, how do I not know about my own body? I'm saying to the lady, so you're taking my ovaries? She's like, no. She's looking at me like, oh, didn't you go to school? Did they not teach you this? Like,
Yeah, but once you do it in like secondary school and you see the diagram, it's not like unless you're going in the medical field, it's not like you ever look at it again.
no, you don't. And that
Right?
diagram is
connected.
It's literally connected.
Yes.
Everything is connected.
Yes, it's not connected, man. Like, what they're teaching us some mad bullshit.
I'm sorry, and no one teaches us about ectopic pregnancies. Let's be
No,
real.
they don't.
I heard
they
about
don't.
it, but
See, I didn't
nobody
even hear
ever
Aziz.
went
No one
into
t- no
like
one talks
depth
into
about what it
detail.
was.
Like they do all of these things about like sex education
Yeah.
and the sperm and the egg, but why don't you talk about what happens if the egg goes into the wrong?
Yes. Do you know how much
Place.
risk? Do you know how much risk we are taking, even just doing this?
It's mad.
Like this when I was talking about the power of a woman. I don't even know. They don't rate us. The world does not rate. I can't even say the world. Men and people who have not had children yet. Because I was that person.
100%.
I'm not gonna lie. Now that I've had my baby, the other day I had a proper little breakdown because I was like, my friends all had babies before. Like I said, I'm 40 now. My friends all had babies before. Not once did I call up my friend and say, "Let me come cook food for you, babes. Let me order you some food. I know you're at home and you're got your brand new baby. Now that I've had my baby, now I know the difficulties. If your friend's pregnant, call her. Can I come wash her dishes? Don't even ask her. You just go and go wash her dishes for her.
Yeah.
Go put a load of laundry in for her.
Yes.
If you can't make it to her, say, babe, I'm on Uber, a Deliveroo right now. I'm ordering you some food because I know you probably
Yes.
haven't eaten. Order us some food. Order us some vitamins. Like, whatever it is, CMOS, whatever your thing is. I did not
Yes.
once think about how my friends were coping day to day with a child. Now that I have a child, I felt so guilty. I took her to the park the other day. It took me 2 hours just to get to the park.
Yep.
I used to show up and my friends were there and I didn't think, how did you get to the park with your baby? What did you do? No, you don't know that I got to breastfeed before I leave. The baby wakes up, I got to change her nappy, now she wants to feed again. That takes 2 hours. Like,
When they
Yep.
poop just before you leave
or
the
even,
house.
or she's vomited all over her plate. Like, she vomited and
Yeah.
I was like, girl, that's your business now. Mama changed you. Mama Jay, I love you. But
It's
just-
true. It feels like you're packing for a holiday sometimes. You know
It
that
does,
baby
doesn't
bag
it?
you're carrying
Oh,
around. I'm like, I'm
that
going on a
baby
weekend
bag.
trip.
cushion, just carrying this cushion and I take this cushion everywhere. I'm like, like
It feels like I'm going on a weekend trip. I'm just going to Asda.
literally.
Literally. I remember the bag was as heavy as her.
Yeah.
And I had her on one side and the bag on the other side. And it was long.
It's a lot.
It was long.
So men and women who do not have children yet do not even have the understanding. And now that I am a mother, my level of respect for women who have given birth, and even if you haven't given birth, because that alone is powerful, but even if you haven't, because people have to have C-sections, whatever, maybe the whole process, but I'm not gonna lie, if you've given vaginal birth, next levels, but the whole process as a woman birthing, giving child, growing a child, we're growing organs and lungs and ears, and people don't even
Yeah.
understand. I don't think. Like when I was pregnant, I felt like people on even the buses. I had that little tag on. You lot are selfish out here.
Yeah,
People
they
don't
even
see.
get up.
You lot are
They
down on your
don't
phone, so you're
even
doing
get
whatever.
up.
People don't
Yeah,
care.
They don't give a shit.
Emotionally, I felt so strong when I was pregnant. I was so happy and like I dressed up. I wanted to make sure I was cute. I bought all the maternity clothes. I did all of it, and I wanted to feel special because this was my time. But it made me realize the rest of the world. I see how you don't see. A mother is a powerful, 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 powerful being. We are the
100%.
most, and I don't mean that as any respect to no man out there, because your power is different from my power.
Yeah.
100%.
Me and you not the same.
They could never
And
do
I
what we
understand
do.
and I respect that. You have your role, I have
Yeah.
my role. But we are a different level of powerful out here.
You just really made me think, because it's like when you see a pregnant woman, you have to remember that she went through a whole journey to get to that.
Yeah, we
She
don't even
could-
know what her
She
story
usually
was.
think about their
Like,
story,
her
do
story
we?
to get to where they are.
She
Yeah.
could have been
It's
infertile
mad.
for a long time. You know, she could have suffered from many miscarriages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
she could have had an ectopic pregnancy. Like, when you actually deep it, like, that's
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And another thing I think as well, which is also deep, before we talk about IVF, but even when people come and visit you, I love that they love on my daughter. Do you know how empty I feel as well? Like, it was weird because when I was pregnant, I had loads of attention. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, your baby bump. Oh my God, you're pregnant. Oh, look, the
Yes.
pregnant lady. And then you don't, then you're not pregnant no more, and no one cares. Like when you leave the hospital, like even she was 6 weeks. We'll come to that, but she was 6 weeks early, so just leaving the hospital without a baby, and then you're back to normal. No one even cares that they don't even know you've just given birth. You know, like you get treated like. Again, it's so weird. And then even my friends, bless them, even when they came and saw me, I love that you love on my daughter, but I felt very forgotten.
Yeah, I felt the same.
I felt very
I had
forgotten.
the exact same feeling. I remember sat with Sharea in the first time me and Sharea met. We sat down and I remember crying and I was saying to her, everybody gives you so much attention when you're pregnant, and as soon as you give birth, it's like no one cares about you anymore. It's like all the attention. It's not, and I think people get confused. It's not a jealousy towards the kid. It's not. It's more so as like, also, I'm also here.
I mean, yeah.
Like you
See
feel
me.
like invisible.
Yeah.
You
they don't
almost
see
feel
you.
like you're a ghost, like you're not there. And it's such a horrible feeling. I remember feeling like that. Because when I was pregnant, even the doctors, everybody was just so focused on you and so focused on making sure that this baby is surviving and happy inside you.
And that means you're okay.
And you're good and they care about your well-being. After I gave birth, did anyone even ask me, have you taken your vitamins?
Yeah, no one checks on me.
Did anyone even ask me, when you're pregnant, did you take a vitamin today? Did you take a vitamin today? You sure you took a vitamin today? You sure? As soon as you give birth, no one gives a shit. Like that, no one asks you, did you take your vitamin today? No one asks you, like, are you all right? How are you feeling? Like, how's your mental state? How's your mental health? How is your body healing? Like, are you okay down there? Like, no one cares. It's so sad. It's so sad.
It's interesting. And then I felt cheated because she was 6 weeks early. So I was like, I could have had 6 more weeks of this. Now she's here and I feel like I was cheated of my full pregnancy, and it's mad. Yeah, it's mad.
oh man.
But she's here.
And she's so beautiful. Love my body.
She is here.
She's so beautiful. Guys, I have a personal attachment to this baby. Like, me and this baby, we're like this, okay? When I hold her, she don't cry. And the only time she cries is when she needs some breast milk, okay? But me and this baby are like this, we good.
Yeah, she's a good baby.
She's amazing.
Even breast milk, breastfeeding. There's no manual. Do you know what? One thing I would say, I know I've skipped out of having her and how it's happened, but one thing I'll say about, which I don't want it to sound weird, but having a premature baby, I got 14 days of education of how to have a baby or how to look after a baby.
Wow.
That's how I deeped it. Because it was sad being there. Because it was weird. Because like I said, I gave birth. They let me stay in the hospital for, I think it was like maybe 3-4. It was supposed to be 3 days, and I pushed it for 4 days. And then they send you home, and you're going home with all these things that you bought for the baby, but you go home with no baby. That's weird and hard. So parents who, and I'm sure if anyone has had their baby in NICU, they know that feeling of going home with no baby. Like,
You're going to make me cry. I can't even imagine that feeling.
you got that car seat, you've taken that car seat and you're taking that empty car seat home. Like, it's mad, it's really mad. But being in NICU taught me, because I was watching them, how they were holding her, what they were doing. A lactation nurse came and spoke to me, and she was like looking and seeing if it was like, imagine if I had a normal birth, like most people probably have normal births, you get sent home.
You get sent home the next day.
What do you know about a baby? There's no manual.
There's no manual.
My husband was helping me with feeding, so I used to pump during the daytime, give him the milk, and he used to let me sleep. Everyone was like, you're so lucky, and I was like, yeah, my God, I get to sleep all night. He stays up all night. I used to go to bed about 12, 1 o'clock, do my last feed, and then I won't be needed until 7 a.m. because he took over. No one told me that if I stopped pumping throughout the night, my milk goes. I was losing milk and I didn't know, and there was so much things. You're like, I wanted to breastfeed as well, and when your milk's not coming anymore, it's like, what am I doing? What have I done wrong? It's so emotional. So if you want to breastfeed, you have to wake up and pump, or you just got to breastfeed at night, or if you got someone that's helping you, then you just need to wake up between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and pump, because apparently that's the time that you need to do it in order to sustain milk. Why didn't you tell me this when I left the hospital? Like, that wasn't a thing. They were doing a thing of checking to see if she was latching and all that, but no one, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a better manual.
There needs to be.
Or something. Not even a manual, because I know every baby is different, 100%. But like something. Yeah. Something to talk about breastfeeding, if you're going to breastfeed, the things you need to do. Bathing or I don't know, wiping. How often do you wash? I didn't know. How often am I supposed to wash this baby? In my head, I was like, oh, she needs to have a bath every day. My sister was like, you can't bath her. Are you mad, bro? Wait at least 2 weeks. She can't even go into this water. What this water's got in it, then you're going to put her. And I was like, oh, yeah. Wow. You know.
You don't know any of that. Do you know, everyone's different as well when it comes to that. Because, like, I remember saying to my mum, leave her alone. We're not going to bathe her for at least a week.
Yeah.
And then I'm hearing other people are like, that's disgusting. You have to bathe. My baby had a bath the next day after she was born. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, there were reasons for it. You know what they're born with when they come out?
Protects them.
It protects their skin barrier.
Yep.
So you're supposed to leave it on there until it like fully melts into their skin.
Yes.
And helps them. Yes, and that's why you don't bathe them before the 7 days.
There's reasons behind it.
But some people, they just don't follow that. And
no. And that's okay. Manual, do you know what? It's okay.
But do you know what the manual's going to be? The manual's going to be, you can do this, but also if you don't want to, you don't have to do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. So each section of this manual is going to be so long to explain.
Because it needs to give alternative options, because everyone needs an alternative.
You can do that one. If you don't want to do that one, you can do this one. That's going to be a very long manual.
Do you know what? I almost feel like I wish... This is another thing. This is another heavy topic here, because this is maybe a bit of a sensitive topic. Because even things like vaccinations.
Yeah.
Deep down, Mama didn't want to give you no blood clot vaccinations. Put no toxics in you and do all these and all this. My husband's a very follow the rules person. Me, not so much.
Yeah. The
vaccines that they give you, and again, this is everyone's individual. Do what you need to do, because mothering, parenting is like religion. You won, us one. How we do it is how you do it. How you live is how you live. Whatever. If they hadn't had all these vaccines as one vaccine, they've got everything in it: hepatitis, meningitis.
It's like 6 in 1 or something. Yeah, there's bare of it in one. Imagine that being such an overwhelm to their brand new immune system.
Yeah, and I asked the doctor, I'm like, she's 6 weeks premature, so shouldn't we wait 6 weeks so that she's like bigger? And they were like, no. I just feel like all of that's a bit messy.
Yeah.
If we could have broken it down, certain ones I would have chosen and certain ones I just would have left out. Like the one that's for the if you use a bad needle or sexually transmit. My baby's a baby. Number one, where am I taking her to get no bad needles? It was like, yeah, well, you know, just in case you go somewhere.
Was that hepatitis B or something like that?
Yeah, hepatitis B. And they were like, bad needles, dirty needles. I'm like, where do you think I'm taking my daughter to be getting bad and dirty needles? And number two, if she ain't having sex. So there's lots of different things, and everything's a personal thing, and that's a whole nother bloody topic to go on.
I'm really torn about that, the whole vaccine thing.
Babe, it's a hard one, because it's got formaldehyde in it. There's so much things in the vaccines.
I was so torn about it.
Did you do it?
2 out of 3. The last one, they've been texting me.
MMR.
Yeah, they've been texting me.
I'm not even messing with that one.
Come get the vaccine. Well. Mine hasn't had that either.
No, I'm not feeling that one.
I feel
the rotavirus as well. When there was like rotavirus, I was like, what does it stop you from? She was like, diarrhea. I was like, allow it. She doesn't need that. But they're on you. And this is why I was talking about this, because I'm like, if I do not want to do this, you should tell me, okay, if you don't want, because it's not like it's forced, it's not like it's
No, it's
mandatory,
not, no.
but they make out like it's mandatory. If you do not want to do this, to be a responsible parent, this is what you need to do. So if you don't want to take the polio vaccine, you need to do these steps in order for your daughter to not get polio.
Right.
If you don't want to take the meningitis, you don't want to take the hepatitis, these are the things you need to do in order for your child to not give me an understanding, not be like, now, you know, you should be doing it. This is your daughter. You're traveling. You're doing, like, don't make me feel guilty about my choices.
Well, why can't they just separate them?
Or separate them. Like, why are you
And
doing
then I
all
can
in
give
one?
her one and then another one, and then let it go into her slowly, and like instead of overwhelming her system. Because some kids, before they have the vaccine, they're like lively, awake, happy, and after they have it, they're done out here for like a month.
Yeah.
And that's not really fair on the baby.
No, and also those first 3 vaccines don't need to be taken in that first
Yeah.
time. Apparently, it's up to in the first 3 years of life.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or something crazy like that.
Doesn't
That's
need to
why
be that
each
serious.
time
Why am doing
I
that?
pushed it back.
So did I.
Pushed each one back. I'm like, I'm
I
not
wish I
gonna
did.
come in
She
straight
literally
away.
just had it on Saturday, her last one.
No way. I'm quite lucky because we had ours. It was during COVID, so the 6-week one was given to her at like 12 weeks. The 12-week one,
At least they build up a little bit, man.
was given to her at like 20 weeks. There was another one. I think is it the 20-week one? There's 3, isn't there?
Yeah, it's 8, 12, and 16.
Yeah, 8,
8,
12, and 16. So
yeah.
the first one she had at 16 or 12.
Wow.
And no, it was 12. The second one she had at 16, and the third one she had at 20.
Right.
So
So at
it
least
was,
it gave
was
her.
still like 4 weeks late.
My daughter's 2, and we're still
Yeah.
waiting for the third one.
So Hannah as well. Hannah's nearly 4, and she ain't even had the third one. They text me all the time.
Yeah, my sister
Your
as well.
child
She was
is
like,
due
"Didn't
for
do
a
it." Yeah.
vaccine.
They're not. Babe, have you had a polio vaccine since you've been in your big age?
Nah.
So what, are you protected from polio?
I hope so. I hope so.
Does
I
this
would
thing
hope
wear
so.
off? Or meningitis, does
so.
it wear, like, because everything's a booster. Like, you're supposed to take boosters in order for it to maintain, for it to update itself.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is it true that like when your kids start school, they ask you if they've been vaccinated?
Apparently so.
Like, do they have to see records of
Because
that?
I think
Apparently so.
the measles and the mumps, I think those are 2 that if there's an outbreak, the kids who don't have, the kids that are not vaccinated all catch it.
Yeah, but
Because it's easy to catch.
German measles, I feel like this was something back in the days. People used to get German measles.
Yeah, but to be fair, even not that long ago, there was an outbreak of measles.
Did people die?
No.
If you ain't look, if she ain't dying from it,
But it's life altering though.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
What happens with the see? Maybe that's also me just having a lack of knowledge on
meningitis
it.
is pretty serious.
Yeah,
Meningitis is very serious.
polio, meningitis, those 2 there,
Yeah,
100%. I would have done it. See all those other ones? HITPPIVPVSOU.
VWXYZ.
If she ain't dying from it, like the rotavirus, like when she said to me, "Yeah, it's for diarrhea," I'm like, "Are you serious?" Here? I was like, "She don't
You
need
know
that
what
one."
though? The rotavirus, I think, because at this age they can't control the diarrhea, so they lose loads of water in the diarrhea.
Yeah. So as long as you breastfeed your child, keep feeding your child, then she's fine.
See,
The same
if
with
they said it
anybody.
to you,
If they said it to me,
at least if
Give me
you
the
make sure you
options.
do this and this and this, and then if she does get it, she'll
then this
be
is
fine.
what you yes.
You know?
Just options.
I hear you.
Just give me the knowledge, give me the information so I can make the appropriate choices for myself.
I hear you.
Because maybe you might have told me these things. Oh well, if you want to not get polio, that means you can't go here, you can't do this. I would have thought, right, actually, maybe I am in those environments, or I am going to here. Like we travel,
Yeah.
so I get it. If they're saying to you, going to other countries might cause this, it might have allowed me to choose to be able to vaccinate my children. But because I've got so much, and I've read so much, there's so much information you can get nowadays, and I know half of it's probably bullshit, but there's also another half of it. There's a slight truth to everything. There's always a truth to something, like who wants to put formaldehyde? Like when I was saying to the lady, there's formaldehyde in it. She's like, everything that they have is just, there's a reason for it. We've been doing this for years and years and years. And I'm like, yeah, but you listening to what you're saying? You're going to inject formaldehyde into a little baby, even if it's a little bit. Formaldehyde, that's what you use to preserve dead bodies.
Yes,
It's a preservation. I get you.
It
On
is, yeah.
formaldehyde, like
It's to preserve whatever's in that vaccine. Whoopsie. It's mad.
so that's
it's maddening, honestly.
So it's a mad thing. Just
you know,
give
the
me
whole vaccine topic is such a headache
It's weird.
because
Yeah.
you'll speak to some people and even with the links between MMR and
Autism.
and autism.
autism.
That's why I'm scared of that one
I
there.
swear everyone that I've spoken to that's in the health industry is like, that's not true. That's not true. The person who claimed that there was a correlation, she's been what's the word?
Debunked or whatever.
Debunked,
Yeah,
like they revoked her license and all of these things, and yeah, no, it's definitely not that. It can't be. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I see someone who says to me, my child was perfectly fine before they had this vaccine, and after they've had this vaccine, now they're different.
Yeah.
They're a completely different child.
Yep.
I'm also going to blame the vaccine. Do you know what I mean? Because
Cause for concern.
it's so mad because now as a mum, who knows my kid better than me?
Yeah.
Who knows her behaviors better than me? Who knows her sleeping pattern better than me? Who knows her moods better than me?
Yep.
Who knows how she behaves better than me? And now if I'm telling you she was fine before that and now she's not, I would believe that mum.
Yeah, 100%. I got a friend who tells me about the MMR, and she says that her daughter, after taking it, no longer spoke.
What?
Oh my God.
Yeah, no longer speaks.
Stop.
So there's levels to this stuff, you know. Like, I agree. There's where there is smoke, there's fire.
Facts.
You know, I know someone who she gave birth in 2018. Her daughter's got autism, and she said, because she lives in a small city, she said that she probably knows about 5 other people who had babies in that same year, 2018, probably gave birth in the same hospital. All of them have autism.
That's the thing. I wish I just knew
She
what the correlation
believes
was.
she believes it's the vaccine.
The vaccine as well.
She believes, yeah, because her
Which
daughter
one?
did get vaccinated.
Like that first 3.
The first 3, she
Scary.
got it.
See, and like,
She thinks there's a link, you know, and it's
Is she awake?
That's just fussing. Yeah, I always feel like, have I done an injustice for her, you know? Like, because I was such an advocate. If you ask anyone, like, for me, probably everyone knows me as, like, thinks of me as, like, the conspiracy theorist. Like, I'm that person.
Same. I'm the conspiracy
I'm that
theorist as
person.
well.
Shit, I just don't trust anything. Like, that's it. The way the world is, I don't trust it. If you're telling me to do it, especially if the government's telling me to do it.
You know, even
Like,
with
I hear
the COVID stuff, yeah. The only reason I took the injection, the only reason I took the vaccine is so that I didn't give it to my little one. It's the only reason I did it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
I felt immense pressure to even though I didn't want to take the vaccination, but I felt like
So much pressure.
Everyone is doing it, and I waited though. I'm not gonna lie. Like when they first started rolling out the vaccinations, I was like, nah, I don't trust it. Everyone
trust it
started
either.
getting it, right? And when everyone I knew got it, I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
And
I didn't play that
It was
game. I didn't
it
do
was
that.
genuinely pressure.
Damn.
I didn't want to do
the
it.
vaccine.
You didn't take it.
The hell,
I'm
I
really
took 2.
hell,
I really wish.
I regret.
I really regret it because right now, looking back, guys, yeah, let's be
There was
real.
no need.
There was actually no need to get the vaccination because now no one's talking about COVID.
Yep.
And I remember they were moving like, oh, you can't leave the country if you're not vaccinated.
You have
Yeah.
to get a little vaccination passport.
Sorry.
Are you awake? Can I hold you?
Do you want to go to Auntie Nasra?
You can come here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Bloody hell, man. Life.
Our first baby in the studio. Special guest.
Special guest.
This is making me hella broody, man.
Yeah, so I have finally been blessed with a child, and that felt like a whole. Okay. Any other questions about ectopic pregnancy? Actually, before I go?
I was thinking we could just dive into the IVF.
IVF part,
Because
yeah.
I always hear about it, but once again, because I haven't experienced it, I'm just like, I don't know
enough.
the actual process. Do
Yeah.
you get what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's important to talk about the process because there's probably people watching who will learn something new, and there's people who probably are planning to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.